I have so many Cybertruck things to do and try and show you, and it's hard to get through all of them. But today, we're gonna go over a massive software update that the Cybertruck just got. I downloaded it, and there are a ton of features. So this one might be a little long, but I'm gonna do my best to be concise while also thoroughly showing you all of the features. So I think this is actually one of the biggest software updates I've ever received on any of my Teslas I've ever owned. So let's hop in the car. First, I'm gonna go over the release notes. I'm gonna show you each release note, what the feature does, and then we'll go over each of the features and check them out and try them out and see how it is. Very exciting, some very cool stuff in here. Let's hop in. All right, so hopping in here, what is that? Oh, that's the sponsor. This video is brought to you by Joa, maker of premium Tesla and vehicle accessories. Claim your discount by using the link in the description below. All right, so the Cybertruck was just updated to 2024.14.3. And we did get stuff down here as well. Before, I was on 2024.8. And you can see there is a huge list of features. So let's just go through and then we'll go check them out after we see the list. So off-road mode. We already had this, but it's been updated with new traction modes, a Baja mode, and the way it works is just a lot better and a lot smoother. So we'll play with it a bit. I can go on the dirt and actually try some of these things. You shouldn't try most of this on pavement though. Terrain options in Baja mode. So again, the off-road stuff now includes terrain slider for optimized performance in a variety of road scenarios. You got smooth, rugged, and clearance. So this will help you get through different situations. You can pause if you want to read every single word of these. Locking differentials. And something I want to mention as we go through this, still no autopilot. I find it so funny, like these off-road features, they're awesome and it's a great part of the Cybertruck. But first of all, what percentage of time are owners going to spend in this mode versus where they're driving and could use autopilot? I know it's coming, but it's just kind of funny to me that we get all this crazy off-road stuff before we even get basic autopilot that could be used daily. So locking differentials are here. Let me scroll that up for you so you can read it. And this is something that Tesla promised, and it's, you know, been a few months, but here it is. So you can lock the differentials in the front and the back. There's a lot here about being careful, not doing it on a high friction surface like on pavement. You want to do this on dirt or gravel or somewhere, you know, that's not high friction. And there's a lot of also wording on how to use this as well. So Tesla's pretty specific in where and how you use this. Trail assist, this is very cool. So you can basically set a cruise control speed on surfaces with minimum slippage or rough terrain or whatever. And you can then just focus on steering with the steering wheel and the car can keep your speed. Now it says here, unlike cruise control, you can actually use your brake and it won't disengage unless you hold the brake, then it will. But basically you can set this to like 4 miles an hour. It'll hold that steady speed, or even 4.5 miles an hour while you're focusing on steering, and it'll just keep everything good. So if you're going up, you'll go up at 4 miles an hour. If you go down a steep slope, it'll still try to keep you at that 4 miles an hour. Slippery surface, so you can turn this on to help with slippery conditions in snow, wet, slick roads. I found this one pretty interesting because traction control is already really good in Teslas. We can maybe try this one out on the dirt, but I won't have snow for quite a while to try this one. And then when you have a load, ride and handling is basically improved. So the car will just kind of smartly figure out that you got something heavy back there, and it will be able to adapt to that. Now, I haven't hauled anything yet. I do need a bunch of gravel that I'm going to go get here whenever I have time. So I won't have a before and after, but I will be able to tell you how it handles with that stuff in the back. And then cyber tent mode. So if you have you can use this without the tent, but if you get the cyber tent, you can use this mode. It will level out the suspension. We can, again, try this today. It'll also keep the tonneau cover open. I guess you can't manually override that even if you want to. And then you get certain lighting controls, your outlets stay on and things like that. So if you're camping, you're using the tent, or if you're using your own tent, you don't have to specifically use Tesla's, then this will be useful for you. Audible, I don't have Audible, but that's included now. Some Spotify improvements. I also don't have Spotify. Can you tell I don't like paying for subscriptions? I avoid them whenever I can. Preview of Sentry Mode recordings. So this one's pretty cool, Sentry Mode recording. So basically if something happens with Sentry Mode, the car will send a clip or a screenshot directly to your phone wherever you are at the time. So you don't have to get back to the car, you don't have to check the live cameras, you'll just see that picture right there, and you can see if somebody is, you know, backing into your car, as they did with my Cybertruck, or whatever. Yeah, that's a future video. Speed camera chime. I turned this on. We don't really have speed cameras in Michigan, but this is on the map, and if a speed camera is known on the map, it will alert you to that. Trip progress bar is very cool. So this bar you can see on the right there will show up on your nav, basically above your ETA, and then it will show you your progress on your trip and the different traffic situations on the way, what you can expect to come up, you know, where you are right now. Now you need premium connectivity for this. Of course, all Foundation Cybertrucks have premium connectivity for life. So if you have Cybertruck right now, you'll have this, but when this comes to other vehicles, you'll need premium connectivity for that. The colorizer, this has been in other Teslas for a while, so no big deal, but if you get a wrap on your Cybertruck, you can change the color. Mine's red over here because I'm in Mars mode. And then you can customize your scroll wheel, which is great. I already set this up. Again, this has been in other Teslas for a bit, but now it's come to Cybertruck, and I'll show you what I did for mine. Zoom, of course, has already been in other Teslas. Beach buggy racing, again, has already been in other Teslas, but what's cool about the Cybertruck is because of the steer-by-wire, when you play this, the wheels on the ground will not move. I remember everyone freaks out about everything Tesla. I remember when this first came out and people were steering with the steering wheel and the tires were moving, everyone's like, oh my God, you're gonna ruin your tires. It's like, come on, you think people are gonna sit here and play this for 5 hours? Probably not. But now you could sit here and play this for 5 hours and not wear a spot in your tires. There's a new lock sound for Cybertruck, which is just awesome. So you'll hear this when you lock and unlock. I will show that to you. It sounds great. Cabin overheat protection, been in Teslas for a long time now. It was not in Cybertruck, and here it is. The only thing I don't like about this is I'll just tell you now, we don't have to go over this feature, but you can't set it to only the fan. So, and you can't do only fans with overheat protection. In my other Teslas, you can either choose like fan overheat protection or AC. And I would always choose the fan one because it did keep the temperature down a bit, but it didn't use much battery. This, I think, is always going to use the AC, which is kind of annoying, but I'm going to leave it enabled anyway. Front passenger air vent, you can turn it off. So I can just show you real quick here. If I put this up here, you can see it's red because it's heating. If I hold, I turned off that side. So hopefully that'll just happen by default because most of the time I don't want that on if nobody's in here to, you know, save on my energy use, of course, but it's an option now, which is great. Improved turning circle. Unfortunately, I did not get good footage of before and after for you, but we'll try it out. I'll let you know if I can tell the difference. But I will tell you the turning was already insane on this thing. It's so easy to maneuver. It being even better, I can't imagine because it's already so good. So better route available. This is kind of an improvement on the alternate routes that we've had for a while on Teslas. And basically the car will show you if an alternate route is available. If you don't take any action, it will automatically reroute you on that new route. But it's nice that it's going to kind of warn you and show you. Or you can cancel it if you don't want to take the new suggested route. Wiper controls, again, been on other Teslas for a bit now, but you can control the wipers with the left scroll wheel. Security improvements, and then other updates. So like, you're like, oh, we're done. No, look at all these other updates. There's so many. So I'm going to make a full video about at least one of these here, but I'll let you pause and read those. A couple that stick out to me that I found interesting is the rear passengers can see the current trip details on the rear screen, which is great. And on top of that, the rear screen will turn off if nobody's back there. I didn't even realize, but that thing was on 100% of the time, even if there was only a driver in the car, which is obviously a very small waste of energy, but a waste of energy nonetheless. So you'll save some energy there. And the powered front can better detect obstructions just before it finishes closing. So that was a lot, you know, people were freaking out about it, chopping up carrots and stuff from from Kyle Connor. I will be checking that out. I'll probably do a full video on this feature right here. All right, so first up, let's check out this off-road mode. I probably do have to put my seatbelt on, so we're just gonna go slow. I have my camera just sitting on the center armrest there, but I can tap to activate reverse. Now we're in the lowest setting, so you can see here we're 5.8. That's in the entry mode to like get in and out. And if you go into your apps here now on Cybertruck, you can actually see, hold on, let me make sure this doesn't lose focus for you here. Off-road is one of the apps, so I can click that and immediately greeted with the warning. Off-road mode is don't do it on road, basically. So we'll click confirm, and then you can hear, hopefully, the air suspension is lifting us up. So the lowest in off-road mode is high. And I did test this. When you're plugged in, you can't actually change your suspension. You can go into this setting while plugged in, and it will not change your suspension, even though it wants to change you to high. So it'll basically wait till you unplug, of course. So 511 there is what we're at. I think it'll get higher than that. Yeah, it's still adjusting the ride height. 6 foot now. And then you get these cool previews of both your rear-facing repeaters right here, and then your front-facing camera is right there. If you want these bigger, you can click, and you can see a bigger preview of that for, you know, if you're going through an obstacle at that time, and that's the camera you need to see. But as you're driving, you basically just keep this up, and you can see all these different stats. So if we put it into reverse here, I'm going to hit the brake, but you can see PSIs are all there, battery temperature, front motor temperature, and even gives you a little like orange for if things are getting too hot. Now in off-road mode, it won't automatically switch you from forward or reverse. In off-road, it makes sense you have to select the gear because it'd be a lot harder for the car to tell. And there may be no right answer if you're off-roading, right? If you want to go forward or backward. So this is I do this daily to go to work. Let's see if I can tell the new turning radius. All right, besides my camera falling, it does feel pretty good. Let's see. Am I gonna hit that garbage can? No. It feels good. I mean, you know, it's hard to say for sure that it's like 1.6 feet better or whatever, but yeah, it feels fine. So we're in off-road mode right here, and I'm on gravel right now, so that's fine. Love that you get the fractions. That's not new, but this is new. So if you saw in my other video, all these stats actually got blocked by a camera as you were driving before. So they fixed that. If I click that and get rid of that, I don't want that. I want to go back to my off-road mode here. There we go. And so we have overland, all-purpose, rock, gravel, deep snow. So I could change to gravel here. And it feels good. I mean, obviously in this, I don't need any type of off-roading anything. But rear steer, you can disable that. So if we press off there, rear axle steering disabled by request, use touchscreen to enable. So if I back up like this, let's see here. There you go. You can see the back tires are not turning. And then if we go back to, we'll go into drive, back to off-road mode, rear steering is now enabled. Weird. Okay, so I can see the back tires turning now. Oh yeah, you can tell I'm turning sharper there. I wonder if I turn this off. So the tires are still sitting there. And then, yeah, so they straighten themselves out after I start to move there. So you can see they're not moving. And then let's just try this one more time. I'm going to enable the rear steering. And as I move, they turn the way they need to turn. Very cool. All right, that's great. So this will help with all that. I'm going to go to an off-road park soon and actually try all this out. So yeah, but for now, there you go. That's what you get. We go to Baja. Look at that. Now it's doing something with it's lowering us here. Terrain is smooth. Yep, that's what we got. Rugged or clearance. So Baja is more of like a faster off-roading, but you can adjust your handling and balance here. So we can do front or rear, keep it at 50. Stability assist, standard, reduced, or minimum. So you can actually get rid of all your help there. And then if we move here, you can see my pitch and roll are changing, my compass, where I'm facing, all of that. Oh, look at this, we're rolling around. That's funny. So it keeps everything kind of loose for you. So right now I let off the accelerator and we're still moving. So basically your regen is gone and it's not going to stop you. So I'm not touching the brake or accelerator. It's just kind of rolling down the hill like that. So pretty interesting. I mean, you definitely got to be careful with that. And then in overland, let's see. If I go and let off, so regen and everything is still holding, and now I've stopped. So hold mode is still enabled in this setting if you want it, but it's not in Baja. And then if you're done with off-road mode, you can go here and you can go to dynamics and you can change it back to custom or whatever you want. So now we're just back in normal settings here, and this is how I normally have it set up. And then here's some of the other new stuff since we're here. Slippery surface, used when roads are slippery, such as snow, ice, wet roads, to distribute traction evenly across all the tires. And then there is some more information for you if you want to see what that says. And then you can also engage the rear locking differential used to increase rear axle traction on slippery, loose, or uneven terrain. Do not use on high traction surfaces. So I could use it here again because my gravel will just slip as it needs to. But if we turn this on, let's try it. Speed limited to 35. So this is basically just to help you get out of whatever you got to get out of. And I don't think I'll notice a difference just here in my driveway, of course. But there you go, speed limited to 35, and we have that enabled. And if we get rid of this camera here, we can turn all of this back off, and there you go. So very nice. And I think you got to start moving for that to unlock, basically, if I remember reading that correctly. So that'll, I don't know, come unlocked at some point. So there you go, I just drove around for a second, and it does take some time for that to become unengaged. And so I just did a quick circle, and it did turn off there. And then here's the trail assist feature. So in the off-road mode, Trail assist maintains a set speed while driving. There is some more information for you if you'd like to see that. And if we enable that, it gives us a big warning. So let's try it out. So I put it on, and again, we're not actually doing anything technical. We have a slight hill to go up here. Well, let's give it a shot. So, wow, it has this little, that's our trail assist right there. That's so interesting. So let me get you close to that. So right there, that's the trail assist. So right now, if I click the right scroll wheel, we're now set to 1 mile per hour on trail assist, and that's the slowest you can go. And I can adjust this in increments of ½ mile per hour. So I can put that up to 2, but let's keep it at 1 just for fun. And then if I want to go a little faster, I can press the accelerator, just like cruise control, and let off. It'll get us back down to our lower speed. Or I can hold the brake a little bit here. Just a little, I'm pressing the brake right now, it's not turning off. And it's slowing us just a little bit in case it's, you know, a tough technical obstacle. Now I let off the brake, it can get us back up to, let's do 1.5, up to the speed I set. And then if I press the brake all the way and stop, so I'm stopped, right? But you can see this is still enabled. If I want to turn it off, I can either press this right scroll wheel, or I can just firmly press the brake. I press the brake all the way down and hold. Trail assist remains active when stopped. Press brake pedal firmly to deactivate. So I'm going to push it even harder. So you got to cram that brake pedal all the way to the floor and it deactivates. So you can really get into your brake and still use that trail assist. That is just so nice. I mean, it's like a advanced cruise control. So I click the right scroll wheel again, and it's back on. And again, I can stop. So I'm stopped pressing the brake, but it's going to stay on. All right, I'm ready to continue on my obstacle. I let off. And then if I want to stop, I can also hold the brake, not all the way down, and just click this, and it turns it off. Really nice feature, actually. That's very intuitive and works pretty much exactly as I would expect. Next, let's check out the tent mode. So in outlets and mods, it's in here. And enable cabin outlets, keep cabin on, and cyber tent mode is new for optimal comfort to sleep flat in your cyber tent. So I did park on an uneven surface. So if I click this, let's see. Cyber tent mode levels the suspension, opens the tonneau, and keeps it open before you turn it on. Check that your surroundings won't obstruct suspension leveling. It will not. So if I activate this, tonneau is opening and suspension is leveling. So let's hop out and check it out. You can see this one is lifting right now, and this is staying low. So you can see it's definitely an uneven surface here. So that one is raised up, and then this one over here is off the pavement. So that is lower down. Oh, it's half on the pavement. I meant to have this off the pavement, but that's fine. That one is kind of half. And then this one is lower as well. So very cool. So now the bed is level. All right, I'm trying what I believe to be an even more unlevel surface. So let's look at this one. So yep, this is raising up because we're facing downhill here. I don't know if it'll have enough travel even for this big of a hill, but let's see. So see how the front is lifting up like that? Oh yeah, it's going to be a lot closer to level than it was anyway. Let's check out our little bubble level here. So yeah, it is not level right now. You can see it's actually getting more towards being level. I should have looked before, but I'll take it out of camp mode and we'll check it after. All right, so just finished. Probably heard that. Quite obviously, that is way higher than the back. Very cool. So put it on this hill intentionally. And let's hop over here and see how level. Yeah, much closer than it was anyway. It's not perfectly level, but obviously the suspension can only travel so much. And this, I think, is the most travel of any air suspension in any truck. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Tesla can move more than any other truck on the market. But there you go. Very cool. It's like got the squat. Too bad you can't drive around like that, right? So cool. That's camp mode. Let me turn it off and check the level once it goes back. Oh, there we go. Suspension reached leveling limit. Maximum ability to level suspension reached. Move vehicle to a flatter area. So basically, I just found a spot where it can't fully level. But that kind of shows that before it did fully level, it knew it did. And here it can't. It's just letting us know if you would like to be flatter, just go ahead and move. Very cool. So I'm going to turn this off. We're going to run out here and see how this is looking. But obviously, we know it wasn't level and it became as level as it could. And there you go. So I think that's a pretty good showing for that. All right, if we go into navigation here, you can see there's the speed camera chime. You can basically turn that on or off if you want. So I'll leave it on. Probably never use it in Michigan, but when I travel outside the state, it's on and ready to go. Hop in the back seat, and this is what your back seat passengers will see now. This is our next stop, the supercharger in Port Huron. It'll be an hour and 25 minutes till we get there, and we'll get there at 11:51, so very nice. And then they also have the temperature here. I think that's exterior temperature is right there, so that's really nice. And they got the time, which maybe was there before, but I don't remember. Actually, it looks, that whole top line looks new, so I would assume that's all new. All right, and then if you go into display, scroll wheel function is right there. I have it set to ride height. So all I have to do, let me get this out here for you, is hold this left scroll wheel. And then it pops up down there. I'm on entry, and I can just use the scroll wheel to scroll up through these different settings. Now, I don't know if I have to click again. Let me see if I click there. Now it'll set it to high. I can then also go back down, click to set it to low, entry, whatever I want. So I do actually change my ride height. When I leave the dirt roads, I go to low. When I get onto the dirt roads, I go to medium. So this is a huge quality of life change for me, because what I used to have to do is basically I'd change roads. I'd go here, I'd click this, I click dynamics, and then I click either higher or lower. Now I can just do it from this scroll wheel, which will be really nice. And in case you're curious, here are the other options you have for that left scroll wheel. You can do none, temperature, fan speed, and those are your other options. So you can adjust all of those things if you like, whichever one you kind of use the most. I mean, like driving off-road, you can switch between off-road mode and drive mode with your left scroll wheel, which is kind of neat. I mean, if you're out doing some off-roading, you don't need that mode for everything, you know, like easier trails or just like a dirt road to get from one part to another. You might want to be switching between those on that type of day. So that's sweet that they, give you that option. All right, let's hear the new lock and unlock sound. Unfortunately, I won't be able to see the light bar too well in the sun. I'll try to do this at night, but here you go. So very cool. It basically syncs up with the light. Sounds like a lightsaber or something, and we'll unlock it. That's great. And if you don't like it, you can turn that off or change the sound to something else if you want. But that's sweet. I like it a lot. One more.